Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Healed Process podcast. I'm Sarah Sparks, your guide to emotional freedom and soul alignment. Today, we are talking with a beautiful guest, someone who is one of the clearest channels, is a Reiki master. She creates oils and healing ointments and concoctions for hot flashes or anytime during
Hot
periods.
flashes, all
What'd you
kinds.
say, love?
I said hot flashes, arthritis pain, all kinds of stuff. Whatever ails you.
Yes, she is Paula Martyn, and she is talking with us today about the healed process and her experience while going through the healed process. So enjoy this conversation. And if it resonates with you, remember to subscribe, to like, to comment, and share it with somebody that you feel would benefit from this conversation. Let's begin, loves, and so welcome for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
I
thank
love
you.
spending time with you.
I know. I love our time together. When Divine nudged me to connect with you for the healed process, I was like, yes, please. And then getting to channel the messages for the healed process and the steps and the information. Because for those of you who do not know, Paula is the first person to go through the healed process, and she actually was that clear vessel as I was channeling each step, the HEALED. And so she's a vital role in this. She was the person on the other end that instead of it just being me going through it, I was like, all right, if I were to teach it to somebody else, what would that feel like? What would that look like? How would we interact with one another? What would I share? And Paula was that person to aid in that creation. So thank you for being that
Well,
person.
number one, I'm honored because that was quite the process to go through.
Mm-hmm.
A lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't, it, yeah, I thought it's because it sounds so intimidating, right? Because we've lived so long in the
Mm-hmm.
unhealed version of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you mean healed? What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was easier than I thought.
Yeah. Well, we'll dive into that. I'm curious, like, what do you think made you feel that it was going to be difficult? Because this isn't the first time you've worked with me. This is
Yeah.
like the third time you've gone through two other programs, and I openly share that for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, Sarah Sparks talks about working with me. I don't want to do that. Paula openly shares with people on her social
Yeah.
media that I've worked or that she's worked with me and things. So that's why I'm openly talking about that. But why, like, what was going on that you thought that it would be a hard process? And I totally get it, by the way. I was scared shitless
Of course.
to heal as well. So I get it, but I wanted to hear
Yeah.
from you.
I think honestly, we get so stuck in our shit
Mhm.
and we're used to it. We're used to it. I know how to function there. I know how to function there. I can survive there, but I don't want to survive anymore. I'm done with surviving. I want more. So for me, when you approached me, it was perfect timing for me because I was there. I was ready. Um, but I mean, terrified. Oh
Hmm.
my God, what a healed. What is healed?
Yeah.
Me healed? Are you crazy with all the crazy shit I've done, crazy things I've been through my whole life? Who's going to heal that?
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? You just think that that's going to follow you forever. And then you do the process and it doesn't. It's
Yeah. So
gone.
before the healed process, what was some of the biggest challenges or pain points that even made you realize that there was a need for something to change?
Well, I think the one thing that I carried around, and I know it's like a kind of like a buzzword, but is the mother wound. I definitely had challenges with my mom. It formed, I mean, our moms form who we become really with how they are. They form our inner thoughts. So I had, negativity going in. Um, and always second guessing myself. And what makes me think I can do this? When I started doing Reiki, who do I think I am? That I can help people through Reiki. Like, why do I think I'm so important? Um, we do get stuck in that. And as we meet more people, because we have that mother wound, it's almost like it snowballs because we continue to meet because we're comfortable there. Not that we should be comfortable there,
Mhm.
but we know how to deal with it there. So it's almost like it snowballs with every person that you meet
Mhm.
because that's how you feel about yourself. So you're attracting those type of people that treat you that way.
Mhm.
So it is a big snowball effect. And like I've been through a lot of things. Um, I'm a domestic violence survivor. I'm a sexual abuse survivor. I'm oh God, so many things. I'm an addict. I've been clean for years, but once an addict, always an addict. Um, I had my struggles. I had my struggles with drugs. I still have my struggles with authority, but that I don't think that'll ever change. I don't like oppression, right? And I'm always the person that stands up for people that can't stand up for themselves.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that will never change. I will forever be that person. But just being able to clear through that crap and be able to finally heal it once and for all was amazing. Even like I had abandonment issues. My father left when I was 3. My biological father came back when I was 16. And my parents told me at 12. Well, I don't know. I'm going through hormones, everything else. I wonder why I turned into such a rebellious little crapper. It just kind of, it all goes hand in hand and they're like building blocks.
Mhm.
And then this process that you taught me and that we did, it like just, it blew it up.
Mhm. Yeah. What was some of the most transformative or eye-opening moments during the healed process?
The scooping. I'm like, that scooping for me was so,
Yeah, so for those, because I
whoa.
haven't talked about it yet on
Okay. Oh,
here.
sorry.
So scooping, what she's referring to, friends, is the technique that I teach in the healed process. I needed something gentle and loving, a way, a technique to release the emotions. And so, as you've been listening to the podcast, we've been talking more about the mind body soul connection and where the emotions are stored in the body. And what Paula is referring to is the actual releasing of the emotions and the how to release the emotion. So yes, I just want to insert that in there in case anybody's like, what in the world is she talking about? So carry on the scooping. Yeah.
That was huge. And for me, because I don't think anything is a coincidence, right? Like, I think things happen to us for a reason. We're meant to learn from them, grow from them, all these things. But for me, because I'm very in tune with the moon, with what I do, and on a full moon, you're meant to release what emotions and things that don't suit your life anymore. And then on a new moon, you call in what you do want in your life, like the positive things that you want in your life. So it just so happened that when I was doing the scooping and the releasing of the emotions, it was always on a full moon. Like the timing of how I went through the program for me was even that much more powerful
Yeah.
because that's how I do things.
Mhm.
But the fact that, we didn't plan that, oh, these are the dates that we're going to, it just so naturally happened and unfolded that way. It was a very natural process. There were some tears, of course. I carried this shit I'm 53. I've carried it my whole life. But they were healing tears. They weren't that deep sorrow, rip your heart out, you think you're going to die moments.
Yeah.
They weren't like that. They were just gentle. And I don't suggest for people to do this because it's not good for animals, but it was almost like releasing a balloon.
So releasing the what?
Like releasing a balloon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like it was as easy as that to release the emotions.
Hmm.
So it wasn't the stuff that I feared. It wasn't the, oh my God, like we're going to dig deep. We're going to scratch that wound raw again. We're going to make it bleed. It wasn't.
Yeah,
It was like it healed it. Like it really did. I am a million miles away from who I was 6 months ago.
for sure. I feel the same way of going through
And
it.
that's wild.
Yeah, it's hard to even talk about the old version of you or
Yeah.
even tell those stories again, which I think is
Yeah.
significant because we told the same stories over and over. I
Yeah.
remember in our conversation when I asked you, are you aware that you could live a healed life? I feel like that was also a transformative moment
Yeah.
for you. How
That
did
was
that
huge.
question shift your perspective?
Well, we just get so used to living in the crap that we don't think there's another way.
Mm,
We really don't. We're
yeah,
taught there's not another way. You know, I mean, for we're just taught that that's just the way it is. There's, deal with it, deal with it. Well, we all have different ways of coping. I dealt with it with drugs, and a million other crazy things that I did. Like, I don't have to do that anymore.
hmm,
Well, I mean, I haven't done it for years, but I don't, that when I'm going through something tougher, I know that I can deal in a healthy way now. Like that's a big difference. I don't have to mask it with, with anything. I can just go, okay, we're going to sit here, we're going to process this. We're
yeah,
going to It's not going to run our life.
yeah. Yes, that when you alluded to having like you identified with, you didn't necessarily say identify, but in the first question when we were talking about like your past and things, like truly retelling the story, running your life, like this is like before you, what I noticed with myself and you is like you identified with the wound. And so
Yeah.
like thinking
That's
about
who I
being
was.
healed, you're like, but that's who I am. Like
I'm
what would
that
I talk
wounded
to my, yeah. What were you
I'm
saying?
wounded. I'm that wounded person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm that wounded person. That's who I am. That's who I identify with. There's no other way because all that stuff happened. So that's just who I am. I'm that wounded person. No, I'm not.
No, you're
I'm
not.
so much more. We're
Mm-hmm.
all so much more.
Yes. How has your
And
life changed since completing the healed process?
I like, I may still like, I can still talk about my story, but there's like literally no emotion attached to it. I find it humorous now. I don't find it like, I mean, obviously not everything, right? But I mean, some of the things that my mom did or that my parents did, it's it's funny to me. When I am 100% when you read those quotes about who Gen X is, like latchkey kid at 5 and cooking their own meals by 8, and that was like 100%, that was me. My parents were flight attendants. That's who I was. I am the I am the stereotypical Gen Xer. And it's, yeah, we don't, when they say we don't care, we don't. It's, but now I can laugh about it because now it's just, oh yeah, that's just a stereotype. I was like that. Now this is who I am now.
Mhm.
I get to show who I really am, not the wounded behind the wall.
I noticed my parenting style is different. I know you have a daughter
And my
and a
granddaughter.
granddaughter. And I have two daughters for those who don't know. But I'm more nurturing.
Yes.
I'm still stern. Like I think that's just
Yes.
part of like I'm like there's
They need to
consequences to
learn,
behavior,
right?
like, but I don't get angry as much
Yeah.
because the anger is not in me. And like the
Yeah. It's not
beliefs
there.
connected to the past or how I saw myself in the past and those wounds and those emotions inside those wounds, they're not there. So, like, if my children would do something that would completely irk me, my reaction is different. I see them different. My perspective, my perception is different. Um, how about you? Do you notice
Oh,
that?
100%. 100%. I mean, my granddaughter's 5, my daughter's 35. And I mean, with Ash, she's grown. I don't tell her what to do. She wants me to, but I won't.
Mhm.
But my granddaughter, I mean, I get the opportunity to help raise her, right?
Mhm.
So unfortunately, I do have to dole out some discipline, which I don't like because I did my time.
Mhm.
I did my time. But because I'm here and I'm an adult, I have to. But the things she does that would irritate me before, I'm like, give her, just
Mhm.
do it, you know, just do it. Like we allow her to be a kid anyways. Like we're all about puddles and climbing trees and, let's go in the forest and explore and just be a kid. Like we're not just it's so short.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so short.
Yeah.
But it's not as I'm not as anxious. I'm more relaxed. I'm more like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I can, no problem.
Mhm.
She
I
came
found
this
that
morning.
too.
She has a beautiful dress on, and then the pants underneath. Oh boy, they're tiger stripe pants, and they're big and flowy. So she just has this wild and funky outfit on. Whereas before, I'd be like, oh my goodness, what are people gonna think if she goes to school in that? Who cares? She's 5. Wear what you want. But my mom would always, oh no, you can't wear that. Like, you can barely do the dress up, play dress up. Oh, that doesn't match. What are you doing? And I found I was like passing it on because that's all I knew. Now, no, now it's like, oh, that's wild. Good for you. Be you.
Yeah, it is. And the emotional freedom that I feel, like
Yes.
even little things like for my birthday this past year, I had art, like the healed process had been complete for me. I think I may have started creating it for others. I can't remember the time frame. But anyways, my girls and Craig were singing happy birthday to me. And for the first time ever, I was in that moment. I was not elsewhere thinking about the future or about the past or past birthdays or thinking about how off key they are and singing. I was
Right?
present in the moment, watching the two little, like my girls, dance around while they sing. Craig was singing. I was enjoying his voice. I was the flickering of the candles to like just their love. I was feeling their love. I was noticing my breath. I was truly in the moment. And that I was like, if there was a wish that I could have for my birthday, I wished in that moment for more of those moments. Because I was not my thoughts, my experience was not clouded by emotions from the past. I was clearly let go of the pains of the past to be fully in the moment. Have you experienced that?
I have experienced that. It's I just see things clearer now. Even when I go sit outside, if I go sit outside on my front step, get some fresh air, whatever, I'm sitting there and instead of going, oh, this in snow, well, I say that too, but I'm like, the first thought is, wow, this is really pretty. This is really pretty. It just, and I'm actually in that moment. When I'm talking to somebody, I'm in that moment. I'm giving them my full attention, not, I'm not over here.
Yes,
I'm
fully
yeah,
embodied.
I'm there. I'm actually there.
Oh, I had a question for you.
Yes.
So I also noticed in the past, I did not, so I loved being spiritual. Like once and I still am, but once I had an awareness that I'm not just a body, that I'm not just a mind, but I have a soul and I am my soul, then that's all I wanted to be. Like I really didn't want to be in the body. And I didn't really want to be human. Like I
Fair
love
enough.
the angelic, soulful me
Yeah.
so much that I would rather be that than human. But then that prevents me from being present in the moment and being the wife I want to be, the mom I want to be, the business owner I want to be, the coach I want to be. But I felt like, but now I released the past. I released all the emotion that was tied to the parts of me that I didn't want to be. and parts of me that were the human parts of me that I was ashamed of or felt guilty of. And now I can be fully in my body and embodying this healed life, this present moment, like truly being here. And I was on a call this week, a Zoom call with a friend, and she's like, "You are so present." Like, because we hadn't talked for like probably a year or so. And she's like,
Yeah,
"You're more present than you've ever been before." And I didn't think of it that way. Have you noticed that with like being
I
in your
have.
body versus, because I know you were also,
Yeah,
highly empathic, intuitive, and spiritual. Have you noticed that shift
I
or?
I have noticed that shift. 100% I've noticed that shift. The other thing I notice is my heart chakra is wide open. So
Mhm,
when and it's funny because what's coming out, it's almost like it encloses me and the person that I'm talking to.
mhm,
It's weird. It's almost like it puts us both into a bubble, I guess, if you're looking for a visual of that. And it's just pure love in there. It's
mhm,
not, and it's that focus on that person and the not being distracted by a million other things.
mhm,
It's enjoying that moment.
mhm.
It's if I go to a concert, I don't stand there with my phone and videotape it. I don't want to watch it later. I want to enjoy it now.
Yeah. And I also notice when people
Simple
say they want
things.
ease, so a lot of people come to me wanting ease and flow to receive with
Yeah.
ease, and they want to be in this flow. And honestly, the two words ease and flow are two of the major words in 2025. And if you're watching and listening to this in 26 and 27, but in 25, when we're recording this, 2025, it's the ease and flow is what I've heard people say over and over and over that they're words of the year. And if that is true, what I have found from doing it and then doing this program with you, and then the group that I did it with, and another one-on-one, and then another self-paced, so various forms of it. My point is those ease and flow. It's being present in the moment. And I know we've heard it over and over, especially if we've been on this spiritual journey for a while. Like, be present, be in the moment. Here's a yoga, here's meditation, all these things. But if you can't meditate, if you can't get into a yoga pose, more than likely there is an emotion that is in your wound or wounds or in your body that's clogging you and stopping you and blocking you from experiencing what you truly want to experience. That's what I have found. How about you?
100%. For me right now, the ease and flow, 100%. I'm just, it's like I'm floating down a gentle river, like a lazy river. And and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. I'm not scared of the ease because having struggled for so long,
Mm-hmm.
what is this easy stuff? What
Thank
is
you for
it?
saying that, because ease was my word for 23. I
Okay.
avoided the shit out of it because I was like, ease, that's for lazy people. And I am
Right?
a hard worker. I'm a strong, independent woman who has to have this business, support a family of four. I can't do things with ease. Oh, and saying that now, literally, like
It's
it's like
like,
heavy
makes
in
my
me.
skin
Like I'm just
crawl.
like, oh, no bueno. Like, let's
Hearing it, I'm like,
reset.
Sarah, you stop it right now.
I know. No way, Jose. Like, I don't want any of that. And so I was afraid of ease. So when you said that, I totally get it. I was like, oh, what does that mean? Like, I just have to sit around and wait for things to happen, which I think was why people avoid healing, which is why people
Yeah.
avoid ease, that we're taught that we have to struggle. But what if we're done with that? Like, what if we're a soulful go-getter done with the hustle?
Yeah. I don't want to struggle. I don't. It's, and then even with the spiritual side. So let's take my Reiki for an example. I'm never going to convince somebody to do Reiki. They either want to or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I spending my time on people that don't? Why am I trying to convince them? Why? They don't want to be convinced.
Yeah. Do you know why I would? It was
Why?
I was coaching from a wounded space, and my
Yes.
wound was abandonment. So if they would leave, if they would say no, then that would prove that I was abandoned and I wasn't enough. So
Right?
therefore, I had to
It's like,
like I had to convince them. And now I'm like, here's a course, here's whatever you want to do. It's your journey. Good luck.
right? I
Show
know.
you. I'll help you. I'm not
I'll
going
show
to
you.
convince you.
Yeah, I have another friend, and she's like, and it's so funny because Mel Robbins has come out with her new like buzzword, let them.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that is the best thing on the planet.
Mhm.
You can teach people, but they're always going to take away what they want.
Mhm.
Like they're unless they actually do some healing, they're going to look at it from their wounded space.
Mhm.
And our wounded selves are so different than our healed selves. So different. It's it's almost like from a baby crawling to getting up and running. Like it's the most profound feeling. And I'm still in awe. I mean, I'm still in awe that I'm living like this now. I'm like, and I'll have momentary because of habit, not because how I feel, but it's habit. And I'll go into panic and I'll be like, but I catch myself so fast. I'm like, what are you doing? Let's look at this. Where is it? Let's release it.
Mhm.
And then, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
And it's gone. I'm like, okay, I was
Yeah.
panicking for nothing. I
Mhm.
got stuck in my old ways because I mean, I'm human. It's it's not 1,000,000% perfect, you know, but it's the difference. I can't.
You can, but now you know and how it feels to release right then and there instead of carrying her around for 53
Yeah.
years. Or I was like, oh my God, this is going to take so long and I've got so much to do. I can't just sit down and release these emotions just because I was afraid to actually feel them in the first place.
Well, of course.
But I sat and it like one day it was really deep and there was connected and I felt like I had put myself in jail. And I mean, I was seeing all this, I was feeling it. There was lots of emotions wrapped around numerous people and experiences. And it was a bigger. Guess how long it took me to do like the process? Like
Not
something
long,
that I've been carrying around for years, limiting
right?
me on receiving clients, asking my husband for certain things, being the parent I wanted. Do you know it's 7 minutes?
Right. I
Seven
was
minutes.
gonna say 5 to 10 minutes because it is that quick.
Yeah.
It is that quick. Once it's identified, it's like, oh, well, that was easy.
And it's been gone.
It's like,
I can't even tell you which emotions were there and even the
right?
experience because once it's gone, it's gone. You
Yeah,
turn it over and you release it for good, right? I mean, like,
yeah.
I know I'm like, you kind of feel like I'm talking about my own process and heal, but I'm still in
No,
awe.
but our
Like,
processes are very similar, and we had the same wound.
yeah.
It's the mother wound and the abandonment issues, and that's what we had. And
Mhm.
it's does it change how my mom parented? No, but I'm okay. I'm okay. She did what she could
Yeah.
with what she knew.
And this course is not about focusing on the wound and you becoming an expert
No,
in the wound or even
no,
blaming whomever or
no, it's
whatever
not about
happened to you.
blaming or shaming.
No, it's not even
It's
about
not
them.
about blaming or shaming.
Yeah. So what is one piece of advice you'd like to offer to someone considering the healed process who may feel
Oh my
hesitant?
God, do it. Do it. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. Rip the band-aid off. It's not as bad as you think. It's wonderful. It is the feeling that I have. And through all of this, and this is me, what I mean, I was sick too, but I released weight.
You did.
I released emotional eating.
Yeah.
I like, oh my God. When I'm upset, I don't have to have a chocolate bar.
Yeah. Same. Same.
I don't have to clear my fridge. I don't have to. It's okay. I can reach in. I can spend 2 minutes with myself. Sometimes it's as fast as 30 seconds when something comes up.
For sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's new emotions. I still get angry. I'm not like all just, oh, peace, love, and happiness. And no, I'm still bitchy when I need to be. And I'm menopausal. So that just comes with it. There's nothing you can do. It happens. But it's not an emotional, that's completely hormonal.
And you
And
can
it's
tell
just,
that I can tell the difference. Like I can tell different parts of my cycle versus
yeah,
operating on a daily basis from a wounded, unhealed space.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like there's still people that are still going to make me angry and still,
Oh,
but it's not triggers anymore.
mm-hmm.
They're not jumping on my trigger.
Because there isn't any.
There's none.
We
They're
talk
gone.
about that. We talked about that in the beginning of, not in the beginning of this conversation, but when we're working together, is like how I saw it, how I saw emotions is that we have this big kettle, this cauldron that we hold this wound in. And at the very bottom, there's some sediment of emotions. And they are usually dormant until we are quote unquote triggered. So there's like spices or activators that get thrown into this pot that then activate the emotions at the bottom, and then they boil up to the top and everything gets activated and moved, and things come out our mouth and out other places of our
Oh,
body, or we move in a
right?
certain way. But it's not even about the trigger. It's not about the snake. It's about the
No.
wound, and it's about the emotion. So you cleared it
Yeah.
out. So of course it's not going to trigger you.
Yeah. And that snake analogy is so good
Oh yeah.
because it's true. How
So
many
like,
times have I chased the snake instead of taking care of myself?
yeah. So the snake analogy she's referring to, I don't know if I even said it yet. We're on like several episodes in here, but so the snake analogy, I saw it on Instagram. It's not my own. I tried to find the original or like origin of it, but I can't find it. So if anybody knows, please feel free to tell me. It's now very popular. You see it everywhere. I got it like early 24. I saw it, and it was like you get bit by a snake. And do you go after the snake? So you have two options when you get by the snake. Do you go after the snake, or do you heal the wound, the snake bite? And I find it very interesting because now I saw it on other platforms, that quote, and they've made it into reels. And then the comment section is very interesting because a lot of people are not self-aware, and they are too literal about like, well, you wouldn't get bit by a snake here, and then you wouldn't even notice. And I'm like, oh my god, you are missing the point. So
Those are the fun people at parties.
yeah. So when I read that quote, that is literally what like sparked, yes, play on my last name, but it sparked my own awareness that I had a wound. I had been
Yeah.
focusing on the snake, and we are not calling anybody else a snake, but it's anything
No,
outside of ourselves. So we could even be saying, oh, well, I mean, it's the food that's causing me this and that. No, it's the emotion that's inside you, inside that wound. If you heal the emotion, you're not going to want the chocolate bar. So it doesn't have to be a certain person that you're like, oh, she's such a snake, and you become catty about it. That's not what we're focusing
no.
on. But you also don't have to label everybody a narcissist and a Q1 4 and 2 and B, I don't know, you all know the
Right?
rules,
All
but like
those
we don't
crazy
have to like
terms.
label everybody and understand what everybody else is doing. No, we focus on ourselves, we focus on the wound and what we need to heal, and let them heal themselves.
Yes. You
So,
can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
and that, I want to be clear for those who are listening, who healed you?
I did.
You did. It
I
wasn't
did.
Sarah. I
I
was
had
not your
incredible
healer.
guidance through Sarah, and Sarah got me there with her tools, but I did the healing myself.
You did.
It wasn't like this isn't like a counseling session that, so many of us have been to that we just run in circles. Not that counselors don't have their spot. They
No.
do, they do.
And
Some
because
counselors
you have
are
to be at certain
absolutely
levels. Like you have,
phenomenal.
yeah.
Um,
So,
but
but who also, I didn't sit there and I didn't scoop out your shit. You
nope,
did.
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to scoop it out and I had to release it and hand it to my balloon. And, that's the stuff that I had to do. I had to do the work. But as much as I thought, because I had a lot in there, I had a lot in there. We all do, right?
Oh,
And then little things that we wouldn't even think are a trigger, all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, there's emotion attached to that too. That's got to go.
so, and it's not just about the emotion. Paula then moved into aligning with her soul, understanding why she's here, what she's here to do, connecting with her soul, listening to her divine guidance, being empowered, doing the divine wealth experience, stepping into aligned wealth, and then And then finally deciding to live a healed life. I just want to celebrate you for a brief
Thank
moment
you.
for doing it, for pushing past saying yes, even though you were afraid, even though you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a rough process. You know, that's Sarah. Whew, she's a toughie. No, I'm just joking. But
No,
like you pushed past your own fears and then you stepped into it. So kudos. I
and
just
it's
give you, I celebrate you.
my shoulders are lighter. My shoulders sit where they're supposed to. They're not up by my ear. They're not, hanging down because I feel defeated. I'm not bent over. I'm standing tall. I'm like, yep, I'm in my power.
You are.
And it is the ease and the flow of it is just, when we don't throw roadblocks in our way every 5 seconds, life is so much easier. And we throw emotional roadblocks in our way because that's what we're used to.
Yeah.
That's what we've always done. It's time for different.
It is
It
time.
wasn't working.
Yep.
For 53 years, that didn't work.
Mhm.
And
And
then
now
I
you
got
did it.
healed.
Yes, you healed you. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I want to tell everyone to remember your body really is your greatest ally in healing.
Yes.
It's always speaking to you. So take time to listen, honor its messages, and take that inspired action. And if you're ready to heal and align with your highest self, let's begin today. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. It helps us to reach more souls on this journey to heal and alignment. Until next time, keep shining, keep healing, and keep being unapologetically you. Thanks, love.
Thank you.